a modern view on viewing. Let us look at an example that can shed light on the above mentioned. It might look innocent, but has deep implications. One of the light towers of ancient Greek natural philosophy was Aristotle. He held that for an object to be perceived by the human eye, the form of the object had to enter into it. Another of the great ancients held that the eye sent out a ray that picked the perception. This implicates that the eye is not passively watching, that the act of seeing is an active one. Both of these theses were rejected by the Islamic scholar Ibn al-Haytham around year 1000. Instead, he claimed what today is understood as scientific fact, that any visible object emits rays of light that any eye within range may passively perceive. Modern science in this respect builds on Isaac Newton's replications of the above-mentioned Ibn al-Haytham's materialistic claims about the eye around 1700. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe vividly held on to the natural philosophy that the Catholic Church had spent centuries wiping out. Goethe claimed Newton's science faulty and held on to the idea that the eye is an active organ. Interestingly, even modern science now states that the mere perception of behavior interferes with it. The object cannot be seen as isolated from the observer, or in other words, there is no such thing like an objective observation. And why is that? Could it be that our ancestors were indeed right, that in order to perceive an object, an action takes place that sends a ray from the eye which touches upon the object and subsequently is reflected to the sender? This, at least, seems to be the lesson learned from the work of Rupert Sheldrake. He investigated the phenomenon that some people are aware when they are looked at. It seems to be evident that we are able to perceive when we are being watched. Here is the result from one of Sheldrake's papers. When subjects were being looked at, they guessed correctly about 60% of the time, whereas in control trials, when they were not being looked at, their guesses were close to the chance level of 50%. Is this far-fetched, or is it possible to connect the dots? Let us start with the simple fact that seeing, contrary to listening, is an active act. Without willingly looking somewhere, without paying attention, you will see nothing. And paying attention is, of course, an activity. You cannot look at somebody without paying attention. Therefore, looking is paying attention, is an activity. This activity was once understood as if a power radiates from the viewing eye and touches upon the object, and the gentle touch is always perceived by the subconscious, and it may be perceived by the conscious. Though reluctantly and cautiously, science again dares to touch upon the suppressed knowledge of the ether, which eventually will bring us back to life. Do you have any comments on this about materialism and life, ether? Please write in the comment below.